So hey there, welcome to SAP College. In today's video, we are going to see SAP S4HANA Finance Overview. So we are going to start a new video series wherein we are going to talk about the SAP S4HANA. We will talk about the new development in S4HANA Finance. We will cover each and every topic and changes that has happened in the S4HANA when it compare it with the ECC. So in today's video, we will start it with the broad overview about what is S4HANA and how S4HANA came into the market and all the things. So before we start, as a standard disclaimer, whatever pictures or depictions we have used in this presentation or in this video, we have taken them from, some of them are taken from the SAP handbook, which is obviously belong to SAP SE, and the copyright of them is with the SAP SE. So to start with this quote, so we'll start with this quote which says, by end of the decade, this current decade, 212 billion things from cars to heavy equipments to customer appliances will be connected to the internet. So when we say 212 billion things, which obviously not a jaw-dropping sentence, since we know that currently right now 9 billion smartphones in the world, and we are almost surrounded by the electronic things. If you look around, there are tens of electronic things around us, right? So the next the next change in the industry is going to happen, which will be all of these electronic things going to be connected to the internet. So this is new change, and this change, all the companies are looking to tap into this opportunity by making most out of it, by making the optimum uses of this industry change. So most of the SAP innovations which we'll see in upcoming videos will be around these things, right? So going forward, now if we come onto the topic and see uh, what has enabled this technical or technological transformation, what enabled SAP S4HANA to introduce these many changes or functionalities that currently they are offering, right? So the big question now lies in front of us is that what does enable this transformation, right? So SAP is going from ECC to S4HANA. What has made SAP to do this transformation? What new technologies enabled SAP to bring S4HANA? What are those things because of which SAP is able to deliver whatever they are saying right now as a solution of S4HANA? So we are hearing nowadays that S4HANA is giving real-time reporting solution. S4HANA is X times faster than SAP ECC. It has XYZ capabilities. So S4HANA is capable of simulation and predictive analysis, machine learning. So why does SAP could not do this earlier with their existing ECC solution, right? And now what is changed? Why it is possible now? So we have to understand this thing first before going ahead and starting to learn S4HANA and directly going and seeing what is comparing it with the ECC and uh, what on a transaction level what has changed from the ECC to S4. So before going that much deeper, we should understand what is driving forces behind these changes, right? So this 4 points listed on this screen are the major things that has led SAP to rewrite its entire solution and launch a S4HANA. So the first thing is powerful multi-core processes. This has enabled to do parallel processing. With this, multiple tasks can be processed parallelly. It enables faster responses, further enabling faster reporting. So the multi-core processes, I think we started hearing this term 5, 6, 7 years down back, uh, in terms of our smartphones. If you those who are tech geeks or tech addicts knows that the smartphones started using this term that uh, 4 core processor and 2 core processor and quad core processor is inbuilt in our smartphone. So those multi-core processes, this new innovation that has happened in the technical side has enabled a parallel processing, which in turns enabled a faster processing of complex processes and faster data reportings. So this was the first uh, trigger towards a big change. The next big thing that has happened is the huge and affordable memory. So this point we can compare it with our smartphone also again. If you remember a decade ago or a couple of decades ago, smartphone RAM used to be 100 MB or 256 MB. Even that kind of size was a very big deal to have. Fast forward to today, even a smartphone costing below 10,000 rupees are having a RAM of 12 GB and 16 GB. So in terms of cost as well as size, both has been reduced and increased tremendously. So the size have been increased consistently at a very large scale, and the same rate, cost of this memory have reduced drastically. So now in S4, SAP was able to use the in-memory database due to being huge and affordable memory nowadays available, right? So the next thing, apart from this uh, memory side, the the very big change that has happened is uh, the optimized cache, right? So cache is something that helps the communication between memory and the CPU, right? So this was very poor in earlier days, but now the cache has optimized drastically, which has helped the communication to be stronger between CPU and memory, which is again helping the faster processing of data between these two. So the high volume of data and the complex data is the requirement of CPU. CPU will always be asking the uh, the complex data and high volume of data, and this data in turn will be lying in the memory. So the communication between these two will be helped by the caches. So these optimized caches nowadays are reducing a lot of processing load and the processing time on the servers, right? So this is the third thing uh, that has changed or evolved drastically, which is now again helping in turn launching new solutions and better solutions. And the last is cloud. The cloud term is there since a decade now. We all know that. Many ERPs have already cashed in on this term. So I don't think we will need to go much deeper in this term. But one notable thing that has happened in recent days or recent years is that the cloud computing has been optimized to a level where a large organization can also rely on it and deploy their databases on the cloud and go virtual, right? So cloud is there, we all know, but how reliable it is and whether could it handle the big organizations data load and all, that was the big question around for so long time. But the recent years, the innovations that has happened in the cloud computing had gave a confidence to the organizations, to the customers, that cloud can handle a like huge volume of data, and we can rely on the cloud and we can deploy our entire data on the cloud, right? And we can basically go virtual. So these things sounds very high level, right? When we started this video to discuss about the S4HANA, but we must talk about these things, right? So it obviously sounds a very high level, but S4HANA and various is all about what actual changes has happened, and all we hear is the comparison between ECC and S4HANA. But we believe that one should try to understand the broader view behind the pictures, right? This is a kind of broader view that one should understand. So this is still not the end. When we understand these things which are driving these innovations, which are driving ERPs to evolve themselves and bring new products into the market. So these are all the things will be driven by how these backend technologies do in their respective areas. So S4HANA is not the final solution of SAP. We know that if some new innovation happens in terms of memory, in terms of multi-core processing, in terms of cloud, in terms of cache, or anything else, SAP has to evolve its own solution to make most out of the new technologies and the faster technologies that will come into the market in future. So we know that current S4HANA solution gives us the fastest reporting and the real-time reporting that we know so far. But it is also true that 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, there will be a new release of SAP or some other application which will be even faster because their underlying technology will be faster. So that's why it's necessary to understand what is driving this change before we practically go into the S4HANA and start learning what are the new things and all these mumbo jumbo words around it, right? Now, actually tapping into the S4HANA journey. So if you talk about the SAP journey, it started with the HANA database way back in somewhere around 2011 or 2012. The first breakthrough happened for SAP was when they launched their own database. It was in-memory database. So the journey started with HANA database being deployed to current ECC solution. SAP encouraged their customers to deploy HANA database. On top of HANA database, SAP rewrote their entire solution, which is known as S4HANA. It is a whole new line of code. SAP started its transformation journey with finance. The first solution of SAP S4HANA was launched in 2015 with the capabilities of Universal Journal. So when we say ECC and S4HANA, both are two completely different solutions because S4HANA was written completely on the HANA database and it comes from the whole new line of code. It does not carry the codes of ECC or it is not a upgrade of the ECC. It is a completely new solution. But before the uh, 2015 S4HANA Finance release, SAP wanted existing customer to have the test of its new solution without fully migrating into the S4HANA. So they launched a product called SAP Simple Finance, through which they were able to make customers use S4HANA solution without impacting existing business or the processes. So Simple Finance solution was working on top of existing ERP so that all the data posted in your SAP ECC system will be transferred to the Simple Finance system and then reporting will happen on top of the Simple Finance solution. And this step was a successful move for the SAP, right? Because the fast reporting and the live reporting, uh, the test of it customers could have because of the SAP Simple Finance solution, even though staying on the or doing the running their day-to-day activities on the ECC itself. So S4HANA Finance 1503 was launched in 2015. SAP used a smart acronym for their releases. 15 stands for 2015 year and 03 stands for a month, which will be a March. Then SAP continuously evolved its solution and launched its product almost every year with the new solution and features continuously adding into S4HANA. So 1511 and 1610 solution included EWM and business partner like functionalities and capabilities. Many more add-ons which continuously keep on increasing till the date, and the latest release of SAP S4 is 2023. So from 2020 on, switched its acronym strategy from year plus month to entire year, right? So going forward or 2020 onwards, all the releases of S4HANA is known as 2021 and 2022 and 2023 release and so on. And our further videos, in our further videos, we are going to see what and all features and functions each of these releases brought on the table, and how they differ from each other, or how each and every release keep on adding additional features into the S4 solution. So that we are going to see in the next coming videos, as this is our S4HANA video series starting today. Now, if we further dig little deeper to understand what we can expect out of S4HANA, then we come across these few points, which again was possible due to the technological changes or evaluation which has happened, and which we discussed in the third slide. So we all know that S4HANA coming with a new user interface Fiori, right? So the first big change that is coming up is with the Fiori. This comes with a much more capabilities when we compare it with traditional GUI, right? Whatever traditional GUI right now we are using to access SAP, when we compare it with the Fiori, in Fiori there are much more advanced features that are there that we can use. Apart from that, we will be seeing a lot of possible ways to run simulations on a lot of complex business processes. We will be seeing the predictive analysis. It introduced a lot of options where it is capable to analyze the past data, and based on the past data, its patterns predict future patterns, and so does it can help us with a lot of predictive analysis. So this simulation and predictive analysis is continuously evolving topics. In these areas, we are going to see a lot of changes in each and every new release that SAP is going to make. Since these are emerging concepts, these are not fully developed concept or matured concept as of today. Then we have a powerful real-time reporting is as usual there from very long time now. And this is one of the key area or strength of SAP S4HANA solution. And we also know there is a lot of footprint reduction that has happened due to the new database structure. A lot of indices table and a lot of unwanted tables has been eliminated. So the volumes of data or the memory usage has also reduced in S4 solution. So these are some high level capabilities of S4HANA only. Then coming before ending this video, we will just know this term of what is public cloud, private cloud, and on-premise cloud. So one must understand these concepts by now, since it is going to be there in future, and the future solutions will be evolving around these terms only. So to understand these concepts, we will go to our website erpcollege.co, and we will try to decode it through our one of our blog posts which we have posted some time back, which basically talks about what is S4HANA Cloud. So if we see S4HANA Cloud from the SAP point of view, SAP advertise it as single point of entry in new user experience, role-based dashboards, intelligent automations, and whatnot. But uh, in two ways we should understand it from the discussing about the difference between on-premise and cloud. So when you say I will run S4HANA on premise, then you mean I will own and manage the storage, I will own and manage the servers, I will own and manage the networks, operating systems, middleware, data, everything. I will own and manage everything that goes back in the back end of running software. And then I will just take a software from SAP and place it on my infrastructure. So this is my on-premise deployment of SAP S4HANA solution. But when I say I will use a cloud option, then I will not own a single thing. I will not own any of the data infrastructure. I will just buy a laptop and use S4HANA solution, directly access it through uh, Fiori, which is again a web through from any from we can access it as a website, right? So S4HANA gives me an option to directly to eliminate all of this time and cost that one has to invest in the building infrastructure, right? So that's a basic top level difference between the on-premise and the cloud. And when we come specifically about the S4HANA on-premise and S4HANA on cloud, then what differences it gives us is that in on-premise we have the GUI as well as Fiori. Both the interfaces are there to use. Then we have a SPRO for doing the configuration and customizing. But whereas in a cloud, we only have the Fiori as our user interface. And since we already know on the cloud, we don't have much scope for the customization or configuration. So SAP just have a few of the Fiori apps for super users to make some changes here and there. And then on premise, we will have a yearly update, and in the cloud, we have a quarterly update. So yearly updates are nothing but what we are nowadays discussing, that the update, the release 22 or the release 2021, 2023. Whereas on the cloud side, it is the quarterly update, which is basically rolled out by SAP itself overnight or something like that. Then in on-premise, we still have a landscape structure, same as development, quality, and production systems. Whereas in cloud, it is quite differently and more of a project dependent, right? So this is a difference when we talk about on-premise and cloud. But again, in a cloud, there are two more different concept. One is a public cloud and one is a private cloud, right? So again, if we talk about this, then private cloud is something that can be configured and customized on a larger scale. Basically, it is a flexible option for companies which have complex processes and required lot of customization, right? In a private cloud, we have option to choose our own cloud partner. It could be a AWS, Google, Microsoft, Azure, anyone. But whereas in a public cloud offering, SAP offers it as a S4 solution as a SaaS, software as a service, right? So in this case, customers have a very limited choice of options or flexibility. The 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 cloud solution will be provided by SAP itself, and everything will be basically managed by the SAP. Implementation is a very fast again in this case. And so again, when we talk about the public cloud and private cloud, again in the cloud itself, with the private cloud, you will again have more flexibility. You have more options to do the customizations and configurations. Whereas in a public cloud, you give much more control to the SAP, and you just focus on running a business and using a software, right? So hope these concepts are clear: public cloud, private cloud, and on-premise. And to understand this in uh, to sum it up, basically, we can say that the middle-sized companies and the large-scale companies are still going to use on-premise solution because they have already invested a lot of time and money in building their own infrastructure. They are not going to park it away. They have spent too much time in developing and customizing their own software, so they would like to use them as it is, because the customizations that has been done on in the last organizations is throughout the decades. From 20-30 years they are customizing their software. They are adopting and adjusting their software as per their need. So they are going to use it as a on-prem uh, basis only. Whereas the public cloud or the private cloud is going to be adopted by the lower mid-sized companies or the small scale companies, where they have newly started or starting out, and they have not spent and invested a lot of money in the infrastructure, and they don't want to do it, so because we know in the future uh, most of the things will be based on the cloud. So to have by having a futuristic view, most of the small scale companies will go towards the cloud solution, since it does not make sense looking ahead and seeing the most of the things are going to be on cloud, and it will not make sense to invest much amount in the own infrastructure. So this is how it is going to be. And looking at this, consultants should place themselves for these two different solutions. One solution will be a cloud solution, one solution will be on-premise solutions, and the both solutions are going to differ uh, a lot compared to each other, and each solution should have their own uh, the consultant should have expertise in each solutions separately. So the consultant should place themselves smartly by reviewing and looking at each of the uh, industry size and the solutions that customers are adopting, right? So so far we have planned this much only in this overview session. Uh, so this S4HANA solution, S4HANA software or the ERP is there from long time. Lot of YouTube videos are there on the YouTube related to this. So we don't want to try to, as a part of overview session, cover it same things again and again. So we have tried to go a little deeper and dig deeper and understand, try to put it try to provide some value which is not there on the YouTube. So we discuss about the very basic technological changes that has happened in the industry, and we also discuss about the broad high level changes that SAP S4HANA is introducing with their each new release. So with this, we should be able to know or understand what kind of solutions SAP is going to offer going forward, right? Or what kind of solutions they are trying to place themselves throughout these different releases, right? So hope you learn something new with this video. Stay tuned for our next upcoming S4HANA video series. Thank you.